Hello, hello, and welcome to Labor's Live. I'm your host, Tony Staten, here with you today. I hope you all can hear me. I am here today on this beautiful Friday, and we are experiencing a little bit of difficulties, but we can fight through it. So, welcome. You are listening to Labor's Live on 900 Word WURD AM and 96.1 FM. Also, you hear me some? Oh, my. Okay, that's all right. We're going to keep pushing through. Um, Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get my microphone together. Is that better? Okay, good. Okay, so you can hear me. Just so you know, I'm back joining us live on WRDF AM. You know how it is, folks. Listen, our calling number is 215-634-08, excuse me, 8065-1866-3610900. Join us live on the Word Radio Facebook live page, and also it is streaming live on wordradio.com. On YouTube. Also, we are sharing this great feed on our Labor's Facebook Lecet page at Lecet, Lecet, Philly 5 County. I am here today, and real quick, we're going to do our little Labors on the Move because we have a couple of events that I want to talk to you that health and safety are doing as always. They're not joining me today. I have a great guest too, in addition to health and safety. However, they do have two events this Saturday, and I just want to make sure, members, if you're listening, to join them. Saturday, May the 15th, they have a virtual group fitness. You know, you got to get it together, get it moving, how we do. Members, go for it. It's an advanced and beginners with a coach. So they have a coach between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. to help you, 60 minutes. It's a virtual group fitness session. If you're not doing anything Saturday morning, once you roll over, before you have your coffee and after your water, join them live on virtual at myldcbenefits.com from 9 to 10 a.m. Also, right after, they're going to have a motivational elevation, they're called, and they're having that from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can join a virtual session for this, they'll pick you up, get you motivated for the next time they do the little cardio and what they have scheduled. You can learn something new and gain insight about, different motivational videos they're going to have. So that should be exciting, folks. Also, Tuesday, May the 18th, they have a virtual fitness group, our health and safety team. That's Ann Lowe and Tracy Goldstein. Another with Coach Kim. She's doing something from 6:45 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. So if you didn't get up early Saturday, you still have Tuesday evening after work to get fit and join her live. Also, Thursday, May the 20th, they have Food for Thought Thursday again with Coach Kim, and that's at 6:30 to 7:30. And also, she's just going to talk about topics and different things when you talk about counting your calories and what works for you and what may not work for you. So if you're interested, members, and you're listening, please go to myldcbenefits.com. You can receive all the wellness information, all the events that we're doing, health and safety team, and working hard with these virtual different groups to meet you where you are. And it's just a way to get out and get together and, just see each other. They are really cutting down, rather, some of the restrictions. So in that case, health and safety will be live with you in some of these events. So they may change, moving forward. But right now, they are virtual. I want to remind everybody, too, that the primary election is Tuesday, May the 18th. So please, please get out and vote, folks, You have the ballots, the slates are out there on myphillyvotes.com where you can go. Commissioners are out there working hard for the Republicans and the Democrats, just so you know. So please get out and vote. It's very important. On Tuesday, May the 18th, and we are having our usual special broadcast on Tuesday from 11 to 2 p.m. on Election Day, coming from you live at Word 900 a.m. with myself, business manager Ryan Boyer, Charles Ellison, and a lot of special guests will be there. So please join us on Tuesday, May the 18th. Now, today we're going to start the show. I just want to let you know that we have a great, great guest. Oh, before I get started, I have one more thing. I need to congratulate Samuel Staten Jr. and his team, the laborers. They had their election this year, would have been June, but they ran unopposed. So him and his team, Sam Staten Jr., business manager of Labor's Local 332, his team is Corey Robinson, Malik Staten, Brian Boyer, also business manager of the Labor District Council, John McCarthy Jr., and the entire team for their election. They ran unopposed this year, so we congratulate them. We also want to send our heartfelt condolences out to the McCarty family, John McCarty and his son, and to his father. We want to send condolences out to them all. So, with that being said, on that note, I would like to introduce our guest to the show. She is a friend of the show. She has agreed to, come on every second Friday. We call it our Educational Information Awareness Show, and I want to welcome her, Dr. Robin Cooper, CASA President, Teamster Local 502. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You can hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay, great.
Happy second Friday.
Oh, happy second Friday. I just want to thank you and your whole team, for coming on and sharing with us very, very important, informative information for the public, what they don't get to see and hear behind the scenes sometimes, or some of the events, the town halls, the successful town halls that you all have been having with the great, great subjects that affect the community, the kids, a lot of public figures, professionals out there in the city. You bring in a lot of need and awareness, to the forefront with these successful town hall gatherings that you have and events with the panelists. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to, design, create, and implement this town hall, these town halls, because they are so important, Dr. Cooper. And Robert, I'm just so glad that you are, your smarts is behind this. You're leading the charge. And I just want to thank you. I really do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your support. I have a great team behind me, and so we are really concerned. We are concerned about the city. We are concerned about, our schools. Our schools are the main thing, and, our children tie into so many different aspects, and they make up the city. So just to be able to bring, important officials together to really talk about schooling, talk about violence, and to talk about things that's going on in and around their communities. I just think it's profound, and I think it'll have a positive impact.
It has a very good impact. And like I said, a lot of the information that's gathered through this town hall, and the panelists you have. I mean, you had the Chief Safety Executive School District on there, right? You had the Sheriff Bilal, Rochelle Bilal, the DA, Larry Krasner. I mean, you had SEPTA Chief Thomas Nelson. You had a host of people. And these are the people, Danielle Outlaw was there. I mean, you had the people who are able to answer the questions. They weren't hiding behind the scenes, they actually were there answering the tough questions. And like I said, you talk about climate change, which was part of your money matters in the school districts when you talked about the 5 areas that are needed. Climate change was one of climate management rather. I'm sorry, climate management was one of them. Tell us how important that connection with community is when you talk about climate management in the school district.
Well, we understand there's so much that's going on, and as we begin to open schools, you have to remember we've been gone for well over a year. And so just the pandemic it just caused so many different things. And so we do know when we open up the school that climate is going to be different. Children have been at home for well over a year, and now they are able to come back, interact. Unfortunately, some of the interactions while they were at home, you have a lot of interactions on social media, you have a lot of interaction just outside in the streets. Well, the schools will bear the impact of that. So as opposed to being reactive, we figured what would happen if we brought the leaders of the district together to really talk about, violence and what things are already in play. How can we as school leaders assist in that, and how can we all work together so we are transparent and we can support each other in just the whole initiative is to keep Philadelphia safe, but because in keeping Philadelphia safe, is going to keep our schools safe. So we have a vested interest, and we want to make certain that our children, they know that all eyes are watching. And for the most part, administrators have been like in on the outskirts in the midst, but on the outskirts in the midst. And we're saying we want our children to know that we work with all officials to make certain that at all times that they're safe. And we want them to see that they can trust us around issues, violence, fighting, any of those things. And this is why we talked so much the last time about the importance of having a climate manager. That manager manages that school culture to make sure that children are not bullied, that they feel safe, they can be aware and react, or to be proactive in handling some of the situations. And in that way, they don't have to react when something goes wrong.
And that's true, because when you talk about being proactive, you're talking also about, raising, it takes a village. So when they see the principals and the school district working with, the police officers and the SEPTA officers, they kind of rethink about, what, maybe I don't want this be, a part of this negativity or this, the bad things that are happening on the subway or on the bus or, around a corner from my school or things of that nature, because they know and they see that a president, is there when you talk about the principals and connecting all of the dots with the professionals to make sure the communities are ran smoothly. And that's what we need, and that's definitely what the kids need to see. They need to see everybody working together, to help bring down these horrific numbers that have gotten out of control, that are really, geared and aimed towards the youth, because the numbers in the teenagers are, the youth are the ones that are involved in all of this and a lot of the gun violence and things that are going on. The chart the lady had, I forgot her name, where she had the charts of the different sectors. And I think the number was like 753 kids were involved in all 4 or 5 sectors of schools. What is that about?
And you know what? This was the brainchild of Dina Ramsey, who is the principal of Juvenile Justice. We remember it as Youth Study Center.
Yes.
They like when I say Youth Study Center, so it's Juvenile Justice Services Center with all of the supports and so forth. And, she's concerned because what happens in regular school, when the children, when they do something horrific, they wind up at her center. And so to try to avoid and really to talk about some things, Principal Ramsey really wanted to hone in and get some data. We are data driven, but to really talk about how children are being impacted, and we do everything just by surveys and so we can get some real data in real time to see how we can address some of the social ills that are going on.
And when we want to go to a commercial in about 3 minutes or so, but I want to talk about some of that data, because I was shocked of the number. I think 87%, I'm not sure, of the teachers who were afraid to even go to the schools that they work at. So when you talk about, being afraid to even go to your job, because in a sense, it's their job. We all know it's their job. So if you're afraid to go to your job, and we're not talking about the postal office where you have shootings going on and FedEx, you're talking about the public school system where you go to teach. It's supposed to be one of the most safe environments out there, because children attend, and you have the teachers who are hesitant or afraid to even go to work. That says a lot that we are really missing. It's something that's missing here in the community, where you having people come out and they're doing a service for you and your kids and your household to help, but they're afraid to actually come to their job, to come to school. We have to do something.
Well, and you know what? And that's why from our last meeting, we spent so much time discussing that budget, because when you remove all of the resources, you are going to have situations where, well, who do I go to? Who can I call when a child is misbehaving or a child is not the correct setting? Those things, they require resources. So when you remove the resources, then you will have folks who are afraid, because it's really about understanding children. It's about understanding culture. It really is about knowing that when I tell that young lady or that young man to get up to go somewhere else, that there's somebody to receive him or her, that there are places that the student can go for support. And there are places that I, as that educator, I can go for support. And there are places that that administrator can go to for support. So when you remove when you lack the basic resources, then you will have more people who are afraid to stand up and really hold children responsible. You can't hold the children responsible when there are no resources being put into place for them to be successful.
You're right about that. So listen, I want to hold that note because I want to talk about, the resources and making them available, because it's not about sitting the child in the hallway for the rest of the school day. It's actually sending them somewhere on the school, premises where they can get the help, the assistance, the conversation to really figure out what's going on with you. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Robin, we'll be right back on More Labors Live.
Okay.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good afternoon. Watch for a tractor-trailer fire on the PA Turnpike. It's on the eastbound side between Virginia Drive and Willow Grove. The right lane's blocked. We've got delays back to Mid-County. Blue Road southbound at McDade Boulevard. Crash just cleared out of the way, but delays are still with us back to Broomall. Northbound 476 is jamming up 95 to Route 1. Schuylkill Expressway has delays eastbound 202 to Gulf Mills and the Blue Route to Belmont Avenue. Also City Avenue to the Vine. 95 northbound jamming up Chichester Avenue to the Commodore Barry Bridge. Also Columbus Boulevard to Bridge Street. Report brought to you by SmartMouth, the only 24-hour mouthwash with twice daily use. If you talk to someone and they jump back because of your bad breath, you need SmartMouth, the 24-hour mouthwash. You want to turn heads, but not like that. SmartMouth is the only mouthwash that can provide 24-hour fresh breath when used twice a day. Pick up a bottle of SmartMouth today or visit smartmouth.com. That's smartmouth.com. And for more traffic information, just log on to sigalert.com. I'm Jason Lee with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Anthony Wright was wrongfully convicted of murder after he spent over 2 decades in prison. DNA exonerated him. In 2016, Carlos Vega re-prosecuted him anyway.
I was in prison, convicted of a crime that I didn't commit. Every single person that was involved was corrupt. I think about Carlos Vega, I think about the devil, I think about racism.
Vote now. Vote Krasner for DA. Paid for by Lawrence Krasner for District Attorney.
Get free income tax preparation until May 17th at the African Cultural Alliance of North America. Call now for an appointment. 215-729-8225. Small businesses welcome.
Tired of doom scrolling? Discover a new way to social distance with Philadelphia's own Curtis Institute of Music. This spring, Curtis presents more than 24 free virtual concerts. From virtuosic solos to premieres of new orchestra music, the Curtis Institute cultivates world-class artists right here in Philly. Explore thrilling performances delivered straight to your inbox. See, hear, and feel the power of world-class performances by a new generation of musical legends. Join www.curtis.edu/performances.
This is not a fad for us.
We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are
Undeniably,
indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media.
WURD.
In Philadelphia, everyone is reading this year's free library One Book, One Philadelphia featured selection, The Tradition. Jericho Brown's 2020 Pulitzer Prize-winning poetry collection weaves national history with the deeply personal. Youth companion selections include The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo and Hey Black Child by Useni Eugene Perkins and Brian Collier. One Book, One Philadelphia features 8 weeks of programming through June 9th. Visit freelibrary.org/onebook for the full calendar of online events.
I'm Judge Kateria McCabe, candidate for Common Pleas Court. I'm an Army veteran and practiced law almost 30 years before being appointed in 2019. My job in family court is to protect children and keep families together. I'm endorsed by the Democratic Party, Black clergy, and recommended by the Bar Association. I humbly seek your support to continue service in family court. Please elect Kateria McCabe, ballot number 13, fair, respectful, and committed to justice.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at forward. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
Welcome back to More Labors Live, and I'm here with Teamsters 502 CASA President, Ms. Dr. Robin Cooper. I want to have your announcement real quick, Robin, because CASA Food is having a food giveaway Saturday, May the 15th, 2021, from 12 until 4 p.m. Volunteers are needed, folks. So if you're listening, you know, volunteers are needed. It begins at 11 a.m. It's at 855 North Broad Street. And also they are in partner with Davis Temple Baptist Church and Top Ladies of Distinction. It's also Cleaning Solution giveaway, too. So that's awesome. You guys are on the move in the community, so that's great.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying.
No, you're doing an awesome job. You're doing an awesome job. So let me just say, so when you talk about climate managers, right, that you needed in the schools, do some schools now, as we speak, have anyone in there that represents like climate manager?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So some schools do.
Some schools do, yes.
So go ahead.
We're just really talking about the just in terms of giving schools what's needed. And right now, it's sort of a robbing Peter to pay Paul. So if you need a climate manager, then something else has to go by the wayside. So what happens is administrators are more apt to fill everything, every position with teachers, and then they try to shoulder everything on their own. But if the student is only able to come to the principal, and you really need the assistant principal, the climate manager, because the principal is everywhere. The principal's in classrooms doing observations. The principal has to deal with the parents. The principal has to deal with compliance issues with district headquarters. The principal's everywhere. So you need a person that a student can go to when there's a problem, and a person who can actually do programs that are outside of the scope of the classroom teacher, who is really trying to push and hone in on those reading and math scores. So you're looking at trying to give students everything that they need. And so if they can't get the holistic piece in the classroom because it's a push for those test scores, then they have to get it from somewhere. And that's why that climate manager piece is so important, because they are responsible for bringing those pieces together, bringing in the programs, the positive behavior supports, really honing in, working with the counselor on mental health issues, concerns, and really working as a partner with families so that children can get the resources that they need. We just think it's necessary. And children feel better when they know that there are people who are there to handle their issues and their concerns.
So I guess as a parent, if I'm listening, what is the difference between a counselor and a climate manager? Or are they the same, two of the same, one of the same rather?
Oh no, a counselor is not a climate, is not, the counselor enhances the climate, absolutely. But a counselor works with those entities, like she will counsel a student who really is having issues and problems and so forth. But she's also preparing students who may be going to college, getting geared up for college, or, really working to find programs, which is why the two are aligned, whereas the climate manager sole responsibility is just on that climate. The counselor may work with special education agency to ensure that, again, mental health issues are addressed. Climate managers prevent issues like the bullying and so forth. So they work hand in hand, where the climate manager scope is that strategic plan on how to make the environment the best environment possible that's conducive to teaching and learning. The counselor, the responsibility is the same, but she's conducting small groups. So she may be working with the climate manager, pulling small groups. What does that look like? You know, if there are some young ladies that really want to speak and talk to the counselor about some things that may be going on at home.
Right.
So one counselor can't do what's all of the scope of everything.
Exactly.
That climate manager works with the counselor, the administrators, the educators, but also work with the Philadelphia entities like school police, you know, violence and prevention and intervention. They work with, they have all of those agencies at their fingertips, and they're able to sit down and talk to them.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks are listening was wondering, is there a difference and what the difference? And thank you for explaining that to us. Also, when you talked and when we spoke last month, and you had the 5 different areas, right? The math, the literacy specialists needed, the vice principals, climate managers, and also you had the special education. How much traction did you get so far in working with the district with those 5 areas? Like, any success come out of? I mean, success came out because you made everybody aware what is needed. So what did that conversation look like with the school district and the school board as to, you know what, these are great areas, this is what we need to do? Was there any feedback conversations? How did that go?
Well, currently, there wasn't any feedback that was given to me. However, there were positions, 1.5 positions, that were uploaded into principals' budgets. So we feel that that's a start.
Okay.
Because we are saying that 5 is definitely needed. That's like a basic need. But we are at 1.5, and that's the fastest that, we've seen traction. So we feel good about that, because the district is recognizing that this is a need. And so, and the school board recognizes it. So just the mere fact that we were heard, that the school board heard us, and they acted on it, we just think that that's phenomenal. And we're sure that will become the basic expectation, but we're moving. We're still advocating for the 5, but in a good faith effort, principals had 1 point, well, it's 1 for all schools. And then some of the schools will receive an additional person. So right now,
who chooses? Out of the 5, do you choose? Do they tell you, depending on the school and where it's located, the area, this is who you'll, this person you will receive because your math scores are this, so you get a math specialist? Or how do they decide, or who decides what's the one?
Well, the choice is supposed to be the principal's choice, and that's what we've been advocating for.
Okay.
Because the budget process for so long has been, where they are pretty much, you sign your name. I'm a principal. I sign my name that this is my budget, but I have my assistant superintendent overhead that's saying, you will buy this, you will buy that, you will do this, you will do that. And it may not necessarily align to that particular school's agenda of what they are trying to accomplish. So, that's the piece that we've been saying. You have got to give schools autonomy to know what is best for their schools. But if you are over my shoulder telling me to hire somebody that just came out of your office, well, if I wanted that position, it may not be the person out of your office. So it's issues like that we're working through. But they have something called on track and off track. And so if you are off track, you are supposed to receive additional resources. And then if you're on track, this is a part of the school board's guards and guardrails.
Okay, so on track and off track.
Goals and guardrails, I'm sorry. Goals and guardrails.
Okay, so like you said, the principal who's there, who sees every day what's going on, what's the need, gets to decide, which is a good thing. who or what that
in a
one
fair
wouldn't have.
process, in a
Right.
fair process. So overall, the process is going fairly well. We've had a couple of instances where, principals feel, hesitant because of the pressure that's being applied by the assistant superintendent for a particular position. And so pretty much saying this is the position that you need. And so what we want to make sure, and we're watching it very carefully because, again, we are extremely happy with the good faith effort that the district has put forth. We want to make sure that the process doesn't become tainted, by people inserting themselves in and demanding, because what happens, we asked for 5, and then there was a list that was given with all of these other positions, and we want to make sure that the waters aren't muddied with what other people are saying that this is what we want you to consider, because that's not what our data said. We were very careful with the data, and we want to make certain that those positions are a priority in the schools. And if you don't need it, fine. But when you add other things that should already be in the school, again, we're asking for the district to pick that up, but for the budget process, to leave the autonomy up to the school leaders, because they're going to be the ones that are evaluated. And I just think it's unfair for a principal to be evaluated in accordance to an assistant superintendent's plan. The plan has to be mine if I'm going to be held accountable for it.
Well, most definitely, because, you're either going to give me control of the situation, because, like you said, the numbers and the surveys and the feedback doesn't lie, and you guys are literally the principals rather than the teachers. They're boots on the ground, so they see every day what's needed. They understand what's needed and why it's needed. So, you're either going to believe and trust the people you have in place who's there on a daily basis and experience everything, or, how can you blindly accept what somebody else is trying to tell you how to run your household when you're there every day taking care of your household, basically. So, no, I understand that frustration too.
And that's a great analogy.
But like you said, but the frustration, I'm glad that, they are allowing, 1.5 persons, and hopefully when every T is crossed and every I is dotted, the principals are able to say where that 1.5 person is in need for in their school. And we're still striving for the other 3.5, but for right now, like you said.
We're still striving for the other 3.5, yeah. We want to make sure, and it's a larger fight, and we understand that.
Of course.
Because it's equitable funding. And, I was reading something, and someone wrote something in the back, why are they asking for more? We're asking for the bottom basic. And make no misunderstanding, our leaders do wonderful with inadequate resources. But if you are going to see some gains, like they are holding things together on a shoestring budget. So we're saying properly, we've been having this conversation for years upon years upon years, properly fund them. If you want to see the results, you have to properly fund it. And we want to make sure that our children get the best that they deserve. You can't say, because it's the Philadelphia School District, oh, we're going to shortchange them, and other schools are doing so much, but do other schools have the resources? Because here's the thing, what I do know, when our leaders leave, so-called better districts pick them up. So they recognize the expertise, and they recognize that folks can operate and run schools. Teachers are picked up. You could go anywhere in the Commonwealth after you worked in Philadelphia, and you are easily picked up because of your knowledge base and what you have. But what you also have that you fight against is the inequities. And the inequities is what really makes it difficult to be able to push through all of the bureaucracy and everything that's needed to properly educate our children.
It's like that saying in New York, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So I guess as a teacher, they say if you can make it in Philadelphia and be successful in your classroom setting, then you can make it anywhere, Yeah, it's a gift and a curse at the same time. I'm just going to be frank about it, but we want to make sure the labors that we're continuing to supporting, the public school system, the schools, the charter schools, all of the sectors, because those are our children. Those children are our future. Laborers in the industry of the trades industry, they're our future, and that's why we have these shows, because we want to make sure that the parents are aware of how to get in touch with you all, how to get their voices, heard, how to contact, how to help, how to support. That's what it's all about. We are obligated to use this platform to make sure that those issues that are going on, they're not behind the closed doors. They're out in the open using this WURD platform and this Labor's Live show, every second Friday to make sure that people hear the concerns. If they have any concerns, you are here to answer questions. And you're going to be a household name with us. We need this, and people need to understand that you're just not sitting back and allowing things. The principals are, they care, and they're making an initiative. Like I said, these town hall events are great, and moving forward, I hope you continue to have them. With that being said, Dr. Cooper, we're going to be back with our second part of the show, and we'll be right back with more Labor's Live.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good afternoon. Watch for a tractor-trailer fire on the PA Turnpike. It's on the eastbound side between Virginia Drive and Willow Grove. The right lane's blocked. We've got delays back to Mid-County. Blue Road southbound at McDade Boulevard. Crash just cleared out of the way, but delays are still with us back to Broomall. Northbound 476 is jamming up 95 to Route 1. Schuylkill Expressway has delays eastbound 202 to Gulf Mills and the Blue Route to Belmont Avenue. Also City Avenue to the Vine. 95 northbound jamming up Chichester Avenue to the Commodore Barry Bridge. Also Columbus Boulevard to Bridge Street. Report brought to you by Smart Mouth, the only 24-hour mouthwash with twice daily use. If you talk to someone and they jump back because of your bad breath, you need Smart Mouth, the 24-hour mouthwash. You want to turn heads, but not like that. Smart Mouth is the only mouthwash that can provide 24-hour fresh breath when used twice a day. Pick up a bottle of Smart Mouth today or visit smartmouth.com. That's smartmouth.com. And for more traffic information, just log on to sigalert.com. I'm Jason Lee with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Food for Judge Mark J. Moore for the Court of Common Pleas on May 18th, button number 23. A native of Philadelphia, Judge Moore was appointed to the Court of Common Pleas by Governor Wolf in 2020 after 2 decades as a trial attorney. Judge Moore sits in criminal court where he focuses on social justice and public safety. Judge Moore is fair, effective, and even-tempered. Vote for Judge Mark J. Moore for the Court of Common Pleas on May 18th, button number 23. Paid for by Friends of Mark J. Moore.
We do all we can to ensure our kids are happy, healthy, safe, and strong. Having high-quality, low-cost health insurance helps make that possible. With CHIP, your child can have medical, dental, eye care, and more for free or low cost. Whether you're self-employed, unemployed, or your employee benefits are just too expensive, CHIP is there for you to help your child be strong. CHIP Strong. Apply or renew today at 800-986-KIDS or go to chipcoverspakids.com.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
If you're feeling down or feeling blue and want someone to help you process it all, let's talk with Yolanda. She's not only a social media motivational speaker, she's a psychotherapist by trade and certified in prolonged exposure therapy for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. If you need counseling or seeking a life coach, contact Yolanda Novoa, 267-574-4632. Let's talk with Yolanda. She can be seen on Facebook and YouTube.
African Genesis Institute, the world's largest and fastest growing youth organization of its kind, is offering $1,000 book scholarships for freshman students attending the world-renowned Howard University this fall. To apply, donate, or get more information, please visit the website at africangenesis2.org/book scholarship or call 215-247-5121. That's 215-247-5121.
Yo, listen up. Hers is making Philly victory even sweeter this year. This season, when Philly wins, you win too, in more than just one way. To participate, here's all you have to do. Follow Hers on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stay tuned during select home games this season. When our teams win, you get a chance to score some exciting post-game prizes, like hats, autographed memorabilia, and more. When Philly breaks out to win, break out to Hers. Prizing while supplies last.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD. onWURD or on Facebook at Forward. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
Welcome back to More Labels Live. I am here with Teamsters Local 502 CASA President Dr. Robin Cooper. And I just want to announce again your food giveaway. CASA food giveaway is tomorrow, Saturday, May the 15th. 12 o'clock until 4 p.m. Volunteers are needed. It begins at 11 a.m. at 855 North 4th Street, Philadelphia. They are partnered with Davis Temple Baptist Church and Top Ladies of Distinction. And we're here. So listen, I want to ask a question about, you know, this 2021 is going to be the most violent year that we have to date. How concerned are you, you know, when those doors open in September and a lot of the stuff that's going on in the community, the neighborhood is going to, you know, roll over into the schools? How concerned are you about those situations?
Oh, we're very concerned, and that's why that's where the idea from the, you know, the gun violence town hall. And again, I have to thank Principal Dina Ramsey from Juvenile Justice because, you know, she sees the aftermath, because those students are then assigned to juvenile justice because they're now in the court system and everything that goes along with that. So we're trying this as a preventive measure. Because we think we have some pretty good insight on our children, and we would like for folks like that were on that call to really view our children in the positive light and know that they can help us, you know, to help them, to help the children. If we're all in it together, then yes, hopefully we can ward off some of the remaining parts of, you know, 2021, because it's just difficult for everybody. And hence I'm going back to that climate manager of why it's important if everybody just worked together, the resource officers, the police officers, the school district, and our children. You know, the children fight this whole thing about no snitching, no snitching, no snitching. So if we can be on top of problems, you know, when the problems first occur, then, you know, they'll feel more comfortable. And when they know that we have their best interests at heart, they will assist us in keeping them safe.
You know, and a good thing about the whole school and relationship the teachers have and the principals have with the students is, you know, they become your family. So you can read the body language of a distressed child that you know and you see every day. And you're like, you know what, something's going on with Tasha. Let me just pull her to the side and see. Like you said, it's those relationships, is that communicating that you guys see hands-on every day with children. And if you can prevent it and have the resources to help you prevent it, you know, people don't recognize that.
And Tony, that's why it's so important. Like I said, I could walk into a lunchroom and I could tell just by the quietness in the lunchroom. And I'll say to one of the staff members, you know, what's going on? Is everybody okay? Is everybody? And, you know, I said, something's going on. It's going to be a fight. And, you know, after school, there's going to be a fight. I could just feel it because my presence, the children would think that, oh, she's coming to get the culprits who are going to fight. And I'm just visiting the lunchroom. So their behavior, the change in behavior would let me know that it's something going on. So can you imagine if I was able to be in the lunchroom every single day, every single period? That's why you need the climate manager, because you can sense some things going on. You can feel it in the air, just the change. Like typically I walk in the lunchroom, everybody's laughing, talking, joking. When I walk in and everybody's silent, then they already think I've learned about whatever's going on when I have no idea. But can you imagine if those resources, if that is where you are trained to just really be there for climate, then the teaching and learning can automatically occur because you feel safe. You know that something is going to get resolved before it even has a chance to kick off. That's what we're talking about. And we are really concerned because it has been a bad year, a start of the year for Philadelphians. And we know that it's not one person's fault nor one person's responsibility. So this is why we asked for the town hall to get all of those leaders out in Philadelphia to really come together with us and say it's going to take the village. We're the village, and we're here.
And if you're listening, folks, and you want to look at the recording of the town hall, you can just go to CASA's Facebook page, because that's where I saw it, and you can just, look at it again and review it, see who was on there, get some of the information. You can contact people. You had a lot of questions. They took questions ahead of time and they read off, and a lot of the professionals were able to answer. I didn't quite hear, or do you remember, what was the SEPTA's chief? What was there some of their answers or, concerns, or how were they going to support? Because, that subway is a scary place.
And I know things that we're talking about, because we really are concerned with the safe corridor to and from school. And people don't really realize that we have responsibility for that as well. It is a part of our goal to get children to school safely and get them returned home safely. And so hence, this is why we asked for Commissioner Nessel to really be a part so we can brainstorm. And one of the things, the action steps, we asked for a monthly roundtable so we can really, so next steps is really keeping a group together and talking about some of these issues in real time so we can have solutions in real time. So he was very agreeable to the pieces that we want to do, and we just think that it's wonderful. No, there was not one person that heard anything that they said can't be done. So the collaboration was very real. It was a positive tone throughout. Well, you saw it. You saw it.
Yes.
Everyone came and they're ready to do the work. And although we all, I'm sure, know of each other and know what we all do, just to be able to come together and form such a coalition that says, hey, we're going to look out for our children, I think that's powerful.
I mean, how awesome would that be if you walked into a lunchroom setting and you were able to say, you know what, you go ahead with the climate manager. Then the climate manager person would say, listen, contact the SEPTA police and say, listen, something may occur, just to keep your eyes and ears open. Like, people have to realize what you all are trying to accomplish when you're connecting these dots and these groups together to work together, the ripple effect, and how you could really stop situations from escalating if you have those resources in place to help save the kids, the public, because when you talk about those corridors down in the subway and things of that nature, how the ripple effect across the board, if we all, like you said, just work together and understand. And the kids need to know that, and then they won't probably act up so bad, because they already know a principal is going to contact the SEPTA police off. Can't do it here. Everybody has to rethink everything. And by that time, hopefully you talk yourself out of the conflict, and then there's no issue. There's no issue.
And you're absolutely right, because when we can broaden our scope, we used to, I worked with a principal of a middle school, Quan Lane, and I would, I would see his children that might let out, and I was saying, I'm calling Mr. Lane right now. And 10 minutes later, Mr. Lane would be there. So once the children understood, my children know me, they are going to listen to me. Mr. Lane's children know him. They're going to listen to him. So once they see you're all partnered up, they listen to both of you. And so this is what I'm saying. Once we build these coalitions, and no matter which way they turn, they have responsible adults that they gain respect. Because here's the other piece. Children need to, or we need to make certain that we work with children so they respect us. We automatically think that they should respect us because of the position, and they should. But we also need to earn their respect by not letting them down. That's a part of our responsibility. So we need to be able to handle things when they bring it to us, but we can't do that if we are overworked, because we're doing 5 different jobs. And when the child says, hey, I need some help, I need some help, I need some help, okay, come and see me later, come see me later. But if we have those resources right there on site in the school, not somebody funneling in and out like it's a special occasion, but here is the person that's designed to handle what's going on in your world as you see it. And then that's powerful, because once you're respected, your children will do whatever it is that you need them to calm down, you need them to think about what they're going to do. You know, they can fear you, but it's much better when they do what you ask them to do, because you've been working with them and they know that you have the best in mind for them.
Well, you know what, Robin, we have come to the end, but let me just tell you something. I'm excited about next month, because I'm going to reach out to Dina Ramsey and see if she can join us.
Yes.
Because like I said, her numbers and her statistics, you know, they were on point. And I'm so glad, like I said, we have this platform, because people really need to understand how you are trying to connect the dots and save these children that once will help save the neighborhoods and help the communities. And that's why I'm just so glad that you are here, so you can really enlighten and let people see what they don't see or what they don't understand. So thank you so much for coming and joining us today. I will see you next month, the 2nd of February. Yeah, I'm in the second, yes, the second Friday. And I want to thank everyone for joining us and listening into the Labor's Live show. Be safe. Have a great weekend, everyone. And don't forget CASA tomorrow, 855 North Broad Street, right? The food giveaway. And partner with Davis Temple Church, and also the
Not Ladies of Distinction.
Not Lady of Distinction. Yes, yes. See you then. Have a great weekend. Thanks again. Bye, everybody, for listening.